Hi guys, hope you're all well and you're doing okay and enjoying this beautiful weather that we have at the moment. I want to touch on a subject that I briefly talked about in a previous video, and that is service pitches and drainage. Now, we've been to a couple of service sites now, service pitches now, and they're really good because your waste, your fresh water, TV and your electric hookup are all provided off of one handy point. The freshwater supply is always supplied from a tap, and you can go and purchase lots of kits to feed your aqua roll to make your internal systems work as normal, and that's absolutely fantastic. The big problem is though wastewater. The waste that you have that comes from the van, from your sink and your shower for instance, the waste point is always in a different place depending on wherever you go. So you can use lots and lots of grey waste pipe such as this, and that's fine, but keeping it coiled up and actually keeping it so it always flows downhill is a bit of a problem. So I've had a look around online and I've come across a great website called Caravan Chronicles, and Simon has devised a solution where he's using standard household plumbing fixings to devise a system that can basically fit any site. So I'm going to share with you my interpretation of what he's created, and I'm going to start fitting it onto the van and see how we get on. So in Simon's blog post, he recommends using standard household fittings like this, which I've purchased from B&Q. And this hasn't cost a lot of money at all, to be honest with you. There is probably no more than about £15 worth of fixings here. Simon gives a long list of all the different types of fixings that you will need in order to make this work. And I've put a link to his blog post in the comments and the description below. So go and have a look at his blog post. It's very informative and very useful. So what I'm doing here is I'm using standard fittings like this, quick fit fittings, and I'm putting it all together, and this is how I'm going to make it all work. This is going to plug into the Caravan. I'm going to use two short piece of flexi pipe here, which goes into the Caravan. Beautiful. I'm going to use a short piece of flexi pipe here as well. I'm going on to this obtuse angle connection fitting here. There's going to be another short piece of flexi pipe here, just to give a little bit of variation, before we attach this coupler, which will then go onto a 2-metre section of pipe, which then folds down into a 2-metre section of 40mm pipe. The two essentially fit inside one another like a trombone. And then at the end of the 40mm pipe, I'm using this piece here, so it gives a nice downward turn. Okay, so the first piece I'm going to need to connect these two together. So I'm going to use quite a long section here. I'm going to cut it about here, and I've got plenty of this pipe in the storage locker. Sounds like the farmers let the sheep out the field as well. That's going to go in there, and that's going to go in there like so. What I'm finding is that in some of these connections it's actually a little bit loose, so what I'm just using some tape just to give it a bit more bite, and it's only loose because I'm using this grey flexi pipe. This will be fine because obviously the water coming out is not at high pressure, and to be fair, it's not going to be an awful lot of water coming out at all. So that's good. So the next thing I need to do is to create a join between here and this piece here. Again, about equal length. I'm going to cut it here. So this one goes in here. That's nice and tight. It can be pulled out again if I so need to. Good. And then this one here goes on there as well. So the only thing that needs to happen now is I need to fit on here the long 2-metre section of pipe, and then the trombone that goes over that as well. And now we need to make up a piece as well, which goes on the track so I can bungee this all together to hold it against the van. There we go, that's straight out the back. I think one thing I am going to do though is I'm going to cut these pipes so they're shorter and then put couplers on them so that I can use shorter lengths. I think this is looking quite tidy now actually. If you have a look here, we've got it all plumbed in, and I'm only using one short length at the moment, but the other piece slides on top of this so it can go further away. The only thing I want to make sure that this doesn't pull down and it's putting too much weight on here. So what I've done, I've joy-rigged up a piece of awning protector with a bungee cord on it, and I'm just going to feed that into the channel now and connect it up. Perfect. And there we go. So there we go. I hope that's been of use to you. There's a couple of small changes I'm going to make to it, but I think other than that, I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way that it all hangs together. Of course, the proof in the pudding is when we go away and use it for the first time. But that's only going to be a short number of weeks away now. As I mentioned before, this is all based upon the blog post, the Caravan Chronicles, and I'll put a link to it up here or down in the description. It's a great blog actually, and you should check in and have a look at some of his other helpful tips. So I hope that's been of use to you. Any comments, let me know, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Speak to you soon. Bye.